Alright, today we're in West Springfield, Massachusetts, and by the sign you can see it says Union Street Cemetery. Oldest town burial ground, established 1711. Long time ago, that's over 300 years ago. Now, you can see the cemeteries inside of here. These are ancient gravestones. They should all point with a large tablet brownstone pointed in the direction of west. And west is this way, right? So notice, none of them point towards the west. They point basically towards the northwest. And that means they've been moved, and for sure they've been moved. But a good thing is that there's a lot of footstones in here. There's also a lot of the tablet gravestones that point at least in the proper, almost the proper direction. They've been moved by about 30 to 40 degrees, but they almost are pretty close. And so a lot of them have almost the right direction in a lot of footstones. A lot of footstones are not even with a large tablet gravestone anymore. A lot of the footstones point in the proper direction. They should point towards the east, and it's close. All right, so at least you have the components and they're close to the proper direction. Now, almost all the people would have had a gravestone. You notice that there's a big gap in the middle, so it can't possibly be true. And I'll point out a couple features and then go inside. Notice in the middle that there's an obelisk. Very rare. It's the only thing that's not a brownstone in two tables. And that obelisk is not a gravestone. It's a memorial obelisk to the first minister ever in West Springfield. And I'll go up to that and let you read it. Also, right at the edge here, there's two table gravestones of a husband and wife. The inscriptions are very worn out, but at least there's two. So this is a nice old cemetery, a lot of components still in place. It used to be called the Old Metal Cemetery. It has a nice gate around it, a fence. There's only one opening left, and that's over here off the sidewalk. It's the oldest in West Springfield. Prior to this, these people would have been buried in Springfield's old burial ground, which itself is moved in 1840s. And so this is the old, a very old one, not even moved. And the stones are very close to where they should be. But it's not perfect. And what I'm going to do is walk inside for a bit and talk about them. Okay, this is the one that's very close, because this person right here, Mary, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs., and then it's hard to read, but notice that she has a footstone, all right? But both are pointing in the wrong direction. So it's a close, you have the components, but wrong direction. They should both be spun 180 degrees, at least. Now I'll go up to the two table gravestones. They're actually very different from one another. All right, and quite worn out. All right, and it's a Mr. Tilley and his wife. Now this gravestone of Lieutenant James Merrick, 1765 death, when he's 95 years old, is close to what it should be, because it almost faces to the west, a large tablet, but the footstone, greatest here, says Lieutenant James Merrick, but it should be pointing the opposite direction, so that the headstone and footstone both point in totally different directions. That's the way it should be. All right, then there's some very large ones out here, right? The Deacon Joseph Merrick and his wife. And then there's a Daniel Merrick, and the grave, a footstone behind them is not in line and it's pointing the wrong way. It's pointing towards the headstone, which should be the other way. And some people might have tried to arrange it and thought that some of the footstones were headstones, but they're not. Okay, now we'll go to this memorial in the middle. And it's the Reverend John Woodbridge, the first minister of West Springfield, after serving his generation faithfully, fell asleep June 10th, 1718. The righteous shall be had on everlasting remembrance. Erected by the descendants of his parishioners, 1852. Awesome. And then it says here, among the first settlers in the earliest families of this town are found the names of Ashley, Bagg, Barber, Betterutha, Cooper, Day, Dumbleton, Eli, Roller, Jones, Leonard, Merrick, Miller, Pupetti, Rogers, Parsons, Smith, Van Horn, and Foster, who gave this ancient burial ground to the first parish in West Springfield. All right. And so you can go onwards and onwards with these very old gravestones. And here's a line of footstones without their headstones. But I bet you if you try to match them off, you might be able to match a few of these off correctly. Right? And here's some very old ones next to the building. And so I'll give you a scan. Okay, so this is a good look at the cemetery. And if you ever come, the gate is always open. Just figure out how the bottom and the top latch work and pull them up together. And hopefully you can have a decent look inside this cemetery. Thank you.